will seek his first goal of this League's Cup. He scored a remarkable 10 times in the competition on 2023, and this is inspirational. 90 minutes, 8 minutes of stoppage time on Wednesday. Rodrigo de Paul right back in the Miami starting 11. What surprises does upstart Necaxa have for us? They come off a fantastic finish of their own in League's Cup under Fernando Gago just 3 nights ago. Goals by Badaloni in the 77th and 91st minutes to win at Atlanta Wednesday night. One of just 5 Liga MX teams to produce a regulation victory in its first game of the competition. Good crowd on hand on this Saturday night. It has been sweltering here in South Florida all week long. Temperatures consistently above 90, but the wind is blowing a bit. It's a rather pleasant evening, and the conditions not bad at all here at Chase Stadium. Necaxa, like Inter Miami, seeking the 2-0 start in the competition, and we are underway. Glad to have you with us, MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Agustin Pallavicino, number 8 for Necaxa. Expect him to have a lot of the ball tonight, and he was key to their victory on Wednesday night.
Yeah, he was, and I think what he'll do, he'll have the license to go forward. I think a lot of the times what you'll see with De Buen and Rodriguez, they'll probably sit, and then Pallavicino, a lot of the times he'll drift into that 10 position to go and support Badaloni and Cambindo, the 2 center forwards.
Early throw in here for Necaxa. That's taken by Sergio Busquets. That part of the field is bathed in sunshine as it's cleared out to the middle of the park. We also welcome viewers on TikTok from around the world this evening who are watching a live player spotlight of Inter Miami stars, Messi, Suarez, De Paul, Alba, and others. They'll be in the spotlight throughout the evening. We hope you enjoy it. The full live action unfolding here, of course, on MLS Season Pass. There is De Paul, who played such a big role in the Miami victory 3 nights ago, and he was not just the destroyer, the connector. 56 passes attempted, he completed 52.
And that's huge when you talk about, when you say that word, the connector. It's absolutely massive, because at times when Miami aren't at the best and struggle, there's a huge separation between the team and then Suarez and Messi a long way away. But now what you've got Busquets, who's that deep line playmaker, and then De Paul, he can go up in between the midfield and the attack, and he's sort of that link player. And he does it really, really well, and he's only going to get fitter, you know, because what we saw from him midweek against Atlas was absolutely incredible, but he's probably only about 75% fitness.
Noah Allen back to the keeper, Rocco Rios Novo. Quality performance by the Miami keeper on Wednesday. He had 6 saves in that match.
Yep. I think it's safe to say that Necaxa want to make this physical. They've been playing a lot of long balls, the second balls, and then you just see this challenge from Cambindo. Just goes right into Falcone. He knows he's not going to win it. Just letting Falcone know that he's there just as he goes to play the ball down the line. And that's one of the things you see teams that have had success against Inter Miami. In MLS in particular, you look at Orlando, you look at Cincinnati, 2 teams in particular that have great players, but also bring that physical element as well.
Probability, Miami on its home ground is the prohibitive favorite, as one might imagine, against this Necaxa side. Comes in tonight with something of a fluid formation that we expect to see throughout the course of the evening. We talked a little bit about this on League's Cup Countdown. They can keep you guessing. They step up with an aggressive play here, and a long-range shot off the foot of Tomas Jacob, the Argentine defender, is off mark. The team lineups are presented by Lay's. One change to the starting 11. That's Noah Allen in for Lujan, and you believe that's significant?
Yeah, I do. I believe very much so that it's tactical, because we know that Alba likes to get forward. Teams look to exploit the spacing behind him, and with Allen being a traditional left back, he's comfortable in that centre back position, drifting out to the left and covering the area that's been left behind by Alba.
Messi sends De Paul on his way. First venture into the attack for Inter Miami. This is Luis Suarez, works it across. Tadeo Allende sends one way wide. The build-up fine, the execution at the end not.
And that's a great example of De Paul. Starting deep, but then ended up near enough in the centre forward position. It's a great run. You can see the energy that he's got. Then all of a sudden they created 2 versus 1 on the left-hand side. Suarez then plays it to Allende. He's been really good in front of goal recently, but just got that all wrong. But that is a snapshot of the Paul, what he's capable of. At Atletico, he played a little bit more of a restricted role. I think into Miami, he's going to have the license to get forward and join in.
Alexis Peña, the center back, wearing the captain's armband tonight, is over the ball. You're looking at the Necaxa lineup, which includes 3 changes from the victory at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in midweek. Busquets, the return from DePaul, and played ahead. This is Segovia. Those were the team lineups presented by Lays. Peña gets it no farther than Segovia. This is Messi. Lionel Messi shrugs off the first challenge. Unable to hold possession, that's taken away. And now on the break the other way. Diver Cambindo, the striker for Necaxa, wearing 27. Initially had a step on Falcone, now slows. Gets some help on the near side from Weigand as this ball is out for a Necaxa throw.
And I think it's also a really big thing with Necaxa playing with 2 up front. It's something that Mascherano, he doesn't have to deal with too many times, but teams that play 2 up front against Inter Miami, at times Inter Miami just leave 2 players back, and if they do that, then it's going to be 2 versus 2. They have to be very, very mindful.
Look at Javier Mascherano back playing 3 nights later, as is Necaxa. By now, Inter Miami is used to the grind, right? They had 9 games and 36 nights prior to the MLS All-Star game. Diego De Buen to play this across. Kevin Rosero, the Colombian, with a shot. He was closed down, headed away by Noah Allen, no farther than Pallavicino. Service into the box. This is Raul Sanchez to the waiting arms of Rocco Rios Nova.
But when that cross comes in, it's 3 versus 3. And that's what I'm saying about Necaxa. We're playing 2 up front. Inter Miami, they love to play on the front foot themselves, but they just have to be really mindful, because what you don't want to do is leave 2 versus 2 at the back, because all it takes is 1 mistake or 1 slip and there's big trouble.
DePaul for Messi. Does well to win that from Sanchez. Lionel Messi continuing on. Dispossessed at the top of the 18. Got a rise out of the crowd. Back the other way. This is Rosero. Fouled hard in midfield, and he wins the free kick.
And that's a prime example of Alan. You see his positioning. He's positioning as a left back in that scenario because Alba is up the field. But once again, it's 3 versus 3. You just see Messi just get crowded out here. Thought he found a channel to get into, but between 3 Necaxa plays, they get the job done.
Rosero is 26, a dynamic player out of the Porto Academy in Portugal. And a threat on the right side of the attack from the fullback position for Necaxa. This is De Buen. Christian Calderon. Cambindo. Held up by Falcone. Taken away by Inter Miami. They'll work it to the far side, and Segovia. Noah Allen out to midfield. Pallavicino waiting on that and controlled by the visiting side. Here's Rosero, jumping his step, cleared out immediately by Falcone. Comes right back to the Colombian. Rosero able to beat the initial defender, gets a shot away. Not a poor attempt, it goes wide.
No, it's a good effort. There's a problem down near the halfway line, and it seems to be Messi. I think it goes all the way back to that run that he made into the 18-yard box, and he was brought down. Gets back towards that halfway line and just goes down. Seems to be in discomfort. Would be a huge blow for Inter Miami. And we know with Messi, you look over the years, he doesn't come off. He doesn't come off the pitch, and it was a coming together with maybe 2 or 3 Necaxa players.
Only under the most extreme circumstances. We saw that at Copa America last year. He hopes, and everyone in the stadium does, that he's right back to his feet relatively quickly.
Yeah, it was interesting when he made that run into the 18-yard box, and when he was dispossessed, he landed on the floor and he was really frustrated, and I thought that was out of frustration because he hadn't got that little bit of space. Maybe now seeing what we're seeing at the moment, it could have been frustration for another reason.
Like many of the Miami regulars, went the distance on Wednesday night, and of course factored into both goals in that victory over Atlas, including the game winner by Weigand on what was essentially one of the final kicks of the night. So great concern. There is a hush over the entire stadium here in Fort Lauderdale now.
Yeah, and it was the run from Messi. It's a great run. He picks the ball up, but as always, when he picks the ball up, there's 3 or 4 players that are tracking him. And probably 3 players got a little bit of the ball, and then I think it was just the final challenge. I think it might actually have been Pena that he ran into. And I think that might be what caused the problem for him. And that's why he's down on the floor at the moment. You just see when he picks the ball up, this is what it's all about. So you see him making this run. So there's 1 there, there's 2, and it's just when he runs into Pena then. And then afterwards, it's just out of the camera shot, he smacks the ground as in frustration. Initially you think it's frustration because he's not got through, but it's more the fact of when he connects there with Pena, the captain. And you just see him then, as the play just starts to unfold a few minutes later, he just sits down near the halfway line. And this is obviously huge cause for concern.
Lionel Messi only recently celebrated a 38th birthday, and it appears a decision has been made as Federico Redondo is poised to enter the match, which is 10 minutes old now. Major swing in events here in the opening 10 minutes of the game. You saw Javier Mascherano along with assistant coaches Lucas Rodriguez Pagano, Leandro Stilitano, Javier Morales, part of that group, all immediately discussing, and the decision apparently as Messi takes what appears to be the slow walk down the tunnel, and his night unfortunately is done.
Well, you never, over the years, people talk about the size of him. There's not much of him, but very rarely does he stay down. At Barcelona, when he would just get hit from pillar to post, he would get up, he would continue, and you can see he'd be so disappointed that he's had to go up. You can see he plays with a smile on his face. As always, even at the age, and even after everything that he's won, he's hungry. We'll be hoping it's not too long that he's out for.
So Redondo is the first substitution of the game. It'll be interesting to see now how this affects Rodrigo de Paul's role with the team. You talked about occasions where he will play higher for this team. Will it be Redondo and Busquets sitting side by side?
It will be a change of system. It'll be a 4-2-3-1. You can already see it there. There you go. There's your man going now.
Here comes Rodrigo de Paul. Heads it into space. Plays it across. Segovia is on it. Has Allende. Opts to shoot. Fires and scores. Telesco Segovia. Well, minutes after the night took a sour turn for the fans here in South Florida, it's the Venezuelan with the key strike for the Inter Miami lead. La Familia in song. He's had Miami's first goal now in each of their first 2 games.
Well, we said that De Paul loves to make these runs. He's now going to play in the 10 position, and he just makes the run just in behind now, and Suarez finds him. You can see that he's in an onside position there, but just watch the movement of other players. Watch now Allende. He makes the run across. That affords Segovia that extra little space to just tuck inside and find the corner, and it's a wonderful finish, but a great run from De Paul, going from a central midfielder to a number 10. He knows both roles magnificently well. Take nothing away from the finish from Segovia, but it's a lovely one from Allende, and that is a play that affects the play without actually touching the ball. Creates a space for Segovia, and he does the rest.
And that's the man who's enjoyed World Cup qualifiers and Copa America appearances for Venezuela. Continues this very productive first year in Major League Soccer, and Miami strikes first before the home crowd, but without its captain, and it's Mr. Everything for the remainder of the night. Weigand plays in, Allende across. Now Suarez wants the hero from Wednesday. Weigand to work it across, cleared out by the captain Pena for Necaxa. It's an early corner. Fernando Gago, head coach of this Necaxa side, a Messi teammate, by the way, at the 2014 World Cup. Tonight's game, and in many ways, a reunion of the Argentine team that won Olympic gold in 2008. That team featured Gago, Messi, Mascherano, Oscar Ustadi injured for Inter Miami, and Colaccini, who's an assistant coach for Necaxa. On the corner, DePaul, as that's cleared out. Gago told us yesterday we shared some of life's most special moments. That bind will always be there between us. Weigand to work it across. Suarez took a peek at goal instead. Segovia got a foot to it, but that's all.
See Segovia once again, such a lively player. A lot of the times he starts on that left, but he'll drift and he'll become that number 10. And I think it's going to be really, really important now. You look at DePaul and you look at Segovia and you look at Allende. They're the three players that are going to play behind Suarez. But a lot of the times you'll see Suarez will be the deepest. Those three players will go beyond exactly what happened for the goal, with DePaul making that run behind Suarez. Great movement from Suarez to drag the centre backs out, creating the space, and then runners getting through.
Calderon going long for Necaxa. Cambindo to play this back. Match day 2 for each of these sides. Brought down here, Redondo, the unexpected early appearance. Alba ball takes a deflection, and here's Redondo again. Jordi Alba, brought down, DePaul. Pass broken up, Calderon got a foot to it. Tomas Jacob, the Argentine defender, wears number 5, one of the up-and-coming prospects for this Necaxa side, locked into a 5-year deal by this team from Newell's Old Boys, the boyhood club. Lionel Messi.
That's the signings that they like to make as well. Players that they can make better, that they can improve, that will improve the team, and then potentially look to sell on. There's been a few of them over the last couple of seasons, and it's a great way to get good young players because you're promising them game time, but you're also suggesting that it can be a step for them to then go a little bit higher.
He is 21. Gago said a player who has great potential. Recently added, this is Jordi Alba. The return for Jordi Alba, able to work it across. That's De Buen who got back to break this up for Necaxa. This exclusive Netcam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile.
It's brilliant play. You just see DePaul plays it into Segovia, then the run from Allende just opens up half a yard for Segovia. He opens his body up, finds the corner. Great finish, great team goal, and great movement.
Here's Weigand. Goal by Marcelo Weigand on Wednesday night. Only the second goal he's scored in 55 games in all competitions for this Inter Miami side. Pressure by Cambindo, trying to work his way around Falcone. And the referee will award the free kick. Cambindo looking for a card. Let's see if he gets it as well. A straight red! Maxi Falcone is sent off in the game's 17th minute. Denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, and my, have things taken another interesting turn early on.
I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. First of all, Weigand just plays a pass to Falcone, who then finds himself in trouble. And the referee's looking at it, and he's suggesting that he is denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity because he's not allowing Cambindo to go through. I personally think it's very harsh. It's a poor back pass from Weigand here. He's not understanding of the situation. And then how many times do you see a centre-back like Falcone? He'll just stand his ground. This situation here, I'm not convinced that is a red card. I think it's Falcone. Eventually, Cambindo gets the better of him. I get that. Now, the referee, maybe he's looking at it and saying, okay, as he's run past Falcone, has Cambindo been tripped up by Falcone? And I think that's the key to it here, because eventually Falcone allows Cambindo to go through. And I think the referee has seen, or what he thinks has seen, is a little trip from Falcone, just as Cambindo's obviously gone through, but it'll be interesting to see. This is the one. Just keep your eye on Falcone and his foot just as he gets past. Is there then contact? No. I don't. For me personally, I do not believe that is a red card. I don't feel as though it's a red card, because what's happened is Cambindo, he goes through, and as he makes the run through, it looks as though he actually trips himself up. Falcone just...
We are told the check is complete and the red card is confirmed. Now, I know VAR tries to keep a very high line of intervention. Does Cambindo get to the ball if he shakes loose before Rios Novo does?
The element for me here is that Cambindo, he gets beyond Falcone, and I think he's going to get the ball, but then he trips himself up. That for me is the key thing here. At first I thought, okay, well, when he gets past Falcone, Falcone's then pulled him down, or trips him up, sorry, should I say. And that's not happened. We see this so often. I just think it's a huge call, and I think it's extreme. Obviously VAR, they're not seeing it as a clear and obvious error, and Falcone is sent off, and Inter Miami down to 10 men.
So Miami, a team already challenged defending set pieces. They'll now do it with 10 on the field. Pallavicino is the man most of the time in this situation. The referee does not want to restart play until Falcone is completely down the tunnel. He remains talking to the fourth official before he exits. Done for the night, done for match day 3, is the man who's been Inter Miami's most consistent defender this season, Maxi Falcone. Pallavicino strikes that over the bar. So let's reset. The game's 20 minutes old. You've lost your best player and you've lost your best defender.
You have. So let's have a look at this again. So Cambindo, he's being pulled slightly here by Falcone, but then he gets away from Falcone. I think now he's going to go through. I still think he's going to go through, and then he falls down. As far as I'm concerned, I think he can get to the ball. There's a little bit of a pull of the jersey from Falcone, but I don't think it's enough to warrant the player going down. Initially, I'm thinking, okay, is there potentially a trip from Falcone? But this is something that we see so many times where a player is blocking another player from getting to the ball. In this scenario, Cambindo, I think he can get to the ball. I think he ends up tripping up himself. And that, for me, I think it's a really, really harsh red card.
Ivan Rodriguez with Necaxa playing 11 v 10 and plenty of game in front of us. Pallavicino trying to play that through, and now how important is Noah Allen? Sergio Busquets drops deeper in the Inter Miami formation. This is Allen on the move for the Herons. Segovia, the goal scorer tonight. Jordi Alba, Redondo. Foul called against Necaxa.
I'm still scratching my head. Still scratching my head for the red card. Obviously it's done now, but it's like, I thought at least VAR would have said to the referee, Daniel Hutron, go and have a look. Go and have a look and see for yourself, because I think the referee potentially thinks he's seen a trip. There's no trip there, and it's a big, big call. I don't think it's the right call, but I know Inter Miami are leading 1-0, but they've got to play a large amount of the game now with 10 men.
Segovia. Fouled again, and a free kick for Inter Miami. The direct red card will end Maxi Falcone's run of 12 consecutive starts in all competitions for this Inter Miami side. See how Mascherano plays it. He's already used a substitution once in this first half. Does he opt to get another center back on the field sooner rather than later? Rodrigo de Paul on the free kick. Captain's armband pass to Busquets when Messi exited. Segovia near side, tried to pull it back. It's out for an Inter Miami throw. A reminder, all 2025 Leagues Cup matches are available on MLS Season Pass. The tournament taking life in this first week. Necaxa trying to join Tigres as the only Liga MX sides to get off to a perfect 2-0 start. Redondo plays back. Jordi Alba.
What we see now, just Busquets just playing that little bit of a deeper role. He's played in that centre-back position before, but I just think from Necaxa's side of things now, you can see at times they're leaving 4 up. They're going 4 versus 4 at the back. We've seen that they've got pace, and they believe that they'll get opportunities without doubt.
34-year-old Diego De Buen. The anchors in the midfield. We see Gonzalo Lujan getting instructions from the Inter Miami coaching staff. Save here on the sharp angle try by Rocco Rios Novo. So Mascherano's not going to play around. He's going to utilize two subs, it appears, in this first half. We're only midway through the first half of action.
And we have seen them play with 10 men for a large majority of the game and get a win. Do you remember the game we covered against Charlotte? And I think it was Ustari who was sent off, and they played with 10 men, and they just became very, very disciplined. And that's where the experienced players now, the likes of Busquets, and in particular Alba, within that back four, they've just got to keep everything calm.
Here's Calderon tracking back for Necaxa. Trailing by one on the Segovia goal. Just after Lionel Messi left due to injury. Major developments here early on. Falcon sent off with his team leading by one. Rodriguez subbed on for the first game against Atlanta. Ivan Rodriguez. One of three changes to the starting 11 tonight. Here he is again. Now Peña. Calderon. Jacko. Just as a refresher, we've seen this Miami team win a game in which it played much of the match with 10. It's a game you and I actually did earlier this year against Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned earlier. And it was Ustari, obviously, that got sent off, and they became very disciplined, and you know they held on to their lead, and that's why experience counts huge.
De Buen. Pallavicino taken here. Pallavicino again. Ran into Allende. They work it out wide. Rosero for Necaxa. Whips this ball in. It's a fine chance off the head. Rios Novo to reach out and make the stop.
Just looking at this Necaxa team and the club and the way they see things, just as you see this opportunity. Rosero, lovely ball into the box, and it's a good diving header as well from Badaloni. Comfortable enough save for Rios Novo.
It's the man who had the two-goal performance in the opener against Atlanta United. Did so in a substitution role. He and Cambindo starting together tonight. Fernando Gago telling us they have pushed each other, and he was thinking about starting the two together for the first time. Indeed, that's the case tonight. Now the conditions here do warrant a cooling break, and we're going to have that in the 27th minute.
Yeah, and like I say, you know, I think from Necaxa, they've got so much time now to get themselves back into the game. But just looking at Necaxa as a club, I was speaking to Rob Mack earlier today, obviously formerly Rob McElhenney. He changed his name for ease, and you know, I asked him about him changing his name, and he said, you know, his granddad was known as Mack. He was a World War II vet, so he knows that he would be proud. But I was asking him about the situation because he's obviously a minority owner at Necaxa, and he's a majority owner at Wrexham, and he said that he wants Necaxa to be the US team in Liga MX. He says long term he wants to link Wrexham and Necaxa's global supporters as well, which would be fascinating.
That's dreaming big, and a lot of our fans unaware that he and the actress Eva Longoria are part of the ownership group of this Necaxa side. So, a pair of teams that won their first game, trying to build on that here tonight. Inter Miami will close out phase one in this stadium against Pumas on August 6th. We get differing opinions about what it will take to qualify for the quarterfinal round. I've heard in multiple circles we could have more than 4 teams with perfect 3-0 marks. You'll get some dissenting people who say perhaps 7 or 8 will be enough. But the order of business here is trying to keep this lead with 10 on the field.
So I think going into this game, Inter Miami's aim, I think, was to win the game, but to also win by a few goals, because we know the goal difference is probably going to come into play. Now we fast forward the clock 28, 29 minutes, all of a sudden they're winning 1-0, is to hold on to what they have.
How did we get here? Well, these are the key moments so far. First, Lionel Messi goes down, Danny.
Yeah, and it's a collection of players that run into each other, and Messi obviously has to go off the pitch, but then Inter Miami, they responded. It's a lovely finish from Segovia, and then we see the red card. I can watch it 15, 20 times, and I always look at things and say, right, okay, when I see a card, yellow or red, does it surprise me or not? That really surprised me. Really surprised me, and I think Inter Miami can consider themselves very, very unfortunate.
So the substitution is made now. Gonzalo Lujan, Allende's night is cut short for Inter Miami as they get the extra center back on the field after the sending off of Maxi Falcone. Not even a third of the way through. The Segovia goal is the difference here at Chase Stadium. Advantage Inter Miami on the scoreboard for the champions of the First Leagues Cup in 2023.
What we're going to see now from Inter Miami is sort of a 4-4-1, and then when possible DePaul going up to give support to Suarez. But the problem is you take Allende out of the game, and I understand because you want to bring a defensive reinforcement in, but you lose then one of the key players to stretch the game, so at times it's going to be difficult to get out of your own half, so you're going to spend a lot of time defending. And you know, we know that Necaxa have got quality, and if you defend too deep against this team, they're going to get crosses into the box, they're going to commit men into the box as well, and they've got players like Pallavicino who can make things happen.
Here's Pena, the center back with a handful of appearances for the Mexican national team. Jacob to the foot of Rosero. Here's Calderon. Sends this into the box, repelled by Inter Miami. Weigand to sky this high and out of play for the Necaxa throw. You work on a game plan for days, Javier Mascherano does, and suddenly the equation changes. Suarez. He was fouled by De Buen.
And this is where Suarez is very good, he's very clever, he understands that he's now leading the line, there's not that much pace getting beyond him, so he'll hold on to the ball, and what then Necaxa players have to do, they can't get frustrated, or otherwise what you do, you give a foul. You've given a foul away now, that gives Inter Miami the opportunity to move up the pitch, and that's what Suarez is so good at, just getting those fouls, which just relieves the pressure then off his team.
Fernando Gago, age 39. 61 times he represented national team of Argentina. We see their final match in phase one also Wednesday night. That will be against Orlando City. The Lions are in action tonight, taking on Atlas in their second game of this competition. We'll update the scores for you coming up at halftime tonight. Played back, Pallavicino to the foot of Pena. Jacob for Rodriguez. Suarez went for the takeaway, commits the foul instead. That's the man so much of the attack goes through for Necaxa. Pallavicino started for Liga MX in the All-Star game some 10 nights ago as well.
Yeah, he has to see as much of the ball as possible because he's a player, he can make things happen. You talk about his set pieces, but in open play as well. His positioning, his ability to find passes. He's not been as involved as I'm sure he'd want to be so far, but that can change very quickly.
Played back by Sanchez. This is Pena. Pulled back by Calderon. Given back by Redondo. Now the switch to the right. Rosero is waiting on this. First touch betrayed him a bit, and it comes out to Jaco.
That's the key now against Inter Miami. They're sitting deep, they're sitting narrow. They traditionally sit deep and narrow, and they afford you the width. If you try and go through the middle, it's very, very difficult. So now what you've got is two wingbacks that can play really high.
Sanchez able to work this across. There's your game-tying goal. The finish in front, and it's that man again. Baraloni, he scored twice in Atlanta and levels the match here in the 33rd minute. Celebrated his first two-goal game since his arrival at the club on Wednesday night, and a big one to break the ice for Necaxa here. We're all tied.
We're just saying that the width is going to be key, the wing-backs are going to be key, and right on cue, Sanchez plays a beautiful ball into the box. And Bandoloni, as you quite rightly said, fresh off 2 goals against Atlanta, he's in the right place. But you just see how narrow Inter Miami are. And it's just the movement from Bandoloni. He just catches Allen just on his heels. It enables him to get that yard, and he makes no mistake with the finish. Lovely finish from a player that's full of confidence. Wing back to centre forward, and that is going to be the order for the rest of the game. And Necaxa, they will believe now that they can go and get the full 3 points.
The Argentine striker, age 25. He was signed from Godoy Cruz in his native country. And what a tournament he is having to this point. Golden Boot lead is 4. Shared by a couple of players in this Leagues Cup. That's now 3. And we're only halfway through this game for Bandoloni in the tournament. Here's Redondo. Miami seeks out Suarez, played back to the goalkeeper Unsain.
They just have to be careful now, because at the end of the day, you've got Necaxa, they're playing the back 3. If you're going to play the ball into Suarez higher up the field, it's got to be to perfection, because he's not got that support around him, because there's a number of players they want to go and join him, but they've got to make sure first of all that they're disciplined, and then when Suarez gets hold of the ball, then they'll get up and support him.
This is Pena, and again, as we told you at the top, this Necaxa side, not one of the Mexican giants, but they've opened the Apertura in respectable fashion. There was a 3-1 loss at Toluca to open the season, but after that, a 3-1 home victory over Querétaro. And then, maybe most impressive, a draw versus Club America in the last game they played in the league. Free kick won by Inter Miami. That's DePaul looking for a booking for the opposite side. On the restart, Busquets. It's a terrific ball. Alba gets there to keep it in play. Finds Suarez. Wanted to go right back for Jordi Alba. Sent back to the middle of the park. Noah Allen policing that area of the field. Gives here to Busquets. Pulled back. Busquets to the foot of Segovia. Talasco Segovia ahead. Now Suarez shrugs off the first defender, continues on. This ball straddles the byline. It's sent out, and it's out for an Inter Miami throw. Jordi Alba will take it for the home side. Segovia. Busquets and friends work that across. Taken here, Redondo. Federico Redondo with a nifty move lays this off. Has Rodrigo de Paul. Touched by Alba. This ball drilled in. Suarez going up for it in the box. Unable to get there and booted away by Necaxa.
Still leaving 2 versus 2 there. It's dangerous.
Referee awards the free kick for Inter Miami. It's the Colombian Diver Cambindo, the 29-year-old striker. The starts he had, he did not have Bandoloni with him in the 3 games in the Apertura. Paired together here tonight. And Bandoloni with the game-tying goal. Segovia for Inter Miami. Here's Redondo. Stripped of the ball. Raul Sanchez made the play in transition. Pallavicino has support. It's Rodriguez. And they work it ahead and wide. Rosero will get onto this. Colombian fullback Kevin Rosero to work this across. Oh, waiting on that was Pallavicino. The ball never arrived.
They still seem happy, Inter Miami, when they are going forward, just leaving themselves sort of man for man at the back. You have to be very, very careful. We've said on numerous occasions, but now you're playing with 1 man down. It's so important that you have that extra insurance.
Those just joining us, Javier Mascherano and Miami lost Lionel Messi due to injury early in the match. Moments after that, Segovia with the first goal before Bandoloni ties it for Necaxa. Here's Pena. Pallavicino ahead. Referee stops play.
I think he's just stopped play because it's a head injury more so than it being a foul. I think there's a coming together. It's like Luan.
Luan on as a first half substitution for Allende after the sending off of Falcone.
I think he just catches Sanchez. I don't think there's any intent in it. Just sees they're both looking to go for the ball. You can just see it's that notion with his left arm. Just maybe get. See it from that angle, but I don't think there was any. Didn't look like there was any real intent from Luan. He was running to get the ball.
Minute. Former Olympic teammates Gago and Mascherano matching wits against each other here tonight. La Familia keeping spirits high here in Fort Lauderdale. Weigand gave it up. Pallavicino back for Pena. Jacob to the foot of De Buen. Patient approach here by the visitors from Mexico. De Buen taken away cleanly in transition. Here comes Inter Miami. DePaul in his second game for the club. Redondo. Pena steps up for the intercept. Laid off by Cambindo. Worked across. Redondo to the foot of Jordi Alba. Gonzalo Lujan played that ball across, not enough on it. Here's Rosero off to the races the other way with Segovia racing back. Rosero now finding another gear, able to work this across. Pulled back, Pallavicino couldn't control. Now Redondo pushed from behind. Fouled and a free kick, Inter Miami.
He does well, Redondo, but that's just a prime example of Inter Miami when they're going forward. They're still committing so many players forward. Segovia's chasing back because Alba's gone into the left wing position. And this is where I think more than ever now, just as we see the play from Rosero, he's been really, really lively. Really good play from Redondo, just to get back to win the ball and then get the foul. But they just have to be careful because I think Necaxa, they're thinking to themselves, this could be a game of transition. Inter Miami, they're still going for it. They potentially will believe that they need to win the game without question, so they're committing more men forward and they're leaving themselves open. And it's only a matter of time till Necaxa get a really good opportunity.
Taken by Segovia, across for Redondo. Now Weigand. Weigand with a run down the right side. Push on Calderon. Foul on it to Miami here. Who's played for some of the world's most famous clubs. Real Madrid, Boca Juniors among them. Sanchez for Necaxa. Cambindo tried to lay that off. Pass went behind the trailer, taken away by Inter Miami. To the foot of Segovia. Noah Allen. Can work it across. Several minutes from halftime here at Chase Stadium. Segovia gets the press across. This is Weigand. DePaul turning with it. Rodrigo DePaul, full 90 in midweek, and then the 8 minutes of stoppage time that followed. Right back in the 11 tonight. Push in the box on Suarez, gets a rise out of the crowd. The referee, Daniel Quintero Hultron, uninterested. Taken by Inter Miami again. DePaul trying to put that ball through. Had Alba making a run. Inter Miami does win the free kick.
DePaul, you can see he's doing everything he can to get as close to Suarez to make sure that Suarez isn't isolated. It's another really good run from him. Just see Suarez just gets caught. I don't think there's enough in that to warrant a penalty. You just see the coming together then between Suarez and Jacob. But then Inter Miami find themselves in a good position here with a foul on De Paul. Obviously, your main man's not on, but there's still a number of takers that will fancy it.
There are a lot of people in this stadium who believe Inter Miami's overdue for one, justified or not. They're the only team in MLS that hasn't had a penalty attempt all season to this point.
Which is incredible.
It is.
I wonder whether it's because the likes of Suarez and Messi, when they go into the box, no one dares touch them. Honestly, because it's incredible when you look at the talent they've got and they've not had a penalty.
Unsain, the 30-year-old Argentine keeper in his third year with this Necaxa side. He allowed a Marancha goal the other night. After that, 3 saves in the Wednesday win versus Atlanta. Well, this is Messi territory under normal circumstances. Let's see how Inter Miami plays it. Alba and Suarez are the options here.
Suarez fancies it. He picked the ball up and placed it himself.
Luis Suarez, no goals in his last 8 competitions. Fires, the wall does its job. Settled by Segovia and played back. Five minutes of added time in this opening half, posted by the 4th official, Adonal Gonzalez. Lujan, Allen. Segovia takes a peek at the traffic behind him, gives here to Busquets instead. He's fouled. Referee will pull this ball back. De Paul wanted to start more quickly.
I think Rodriguez and Busquets coming together. I think Busquets just catches Rodriguez and Rodriguez catches Busquets. Both plays seem to be okay. It's just a foul for Inter Miami. He just catches it. Like I say, there's no intent.
Going for goal on the free kick. Testing the goalkeeper Unsain. Sergio Busquets took his shot, deflected off the keeper. It is out for a corner.
Yeah, there's not much that he can't do with the ball at his feet. He had enough to have Unsain very worried.
From the near side in first half stoppage time. Here's De Paul for Inter Miami. We are level at 1. Inter Miami playing with 10 since the sending off of Falcone.
Just see Suarez just trying to get into the head of Calderon, who's marking him. You have to be so careful in these situations. And to be fair, I think the referee's done the right thing. He's booked Suarez and he's booked Calderon. In this scenario, Suarez is backing into Calderon because he wants Calderon to pull him down.
Double booking this ball. Cleared out by Necaxa. Segovia trying to get on it. Wins possession for Inter Miami, and this is Jordi Alba. On the near side, 2 defenders to contend with. He's fouled.
Getting a little bit physical this game. I don't think it's a bad thing either. You see Suarez, you see Alba getting involved. Always leads to a better game at times when it gets a little bit frayed at times.
Inter Miami side that'll have to earn it here tonight. Down a man. Roughly 2 minutes to go in the opening half. De Paul back to Redondo again. Suarez, the return from Wegat. Pushed from behind, free kick. Suarez now has the referee's ear.
Not only is he a great player, but he's so clever. He's so clever as well. He knows exactly where to go when he can just slow everything down by getting his team a foul.
Inter Miami looking for something late here in the opening half. This is Rodrigo De Paul, the 2022 World Cup champion with Argentina. his service. Ball loose at the top of the box. That's Segovia. A second kick at the can. This is played ahead, and here comes Necaxa. Cambindo. Defended by Noah Allen. Well done.
Great strength from Allen. I think that's something that he's shown. He may not be the tallest, but he's strong when it comes to shoulder to shoulder.
Played back by Alba. Perhaps under a minute to play. Gonzalo Lujan. Cambindo. Rodriguez to the foot of De Buen. And maybe a last chance for Necaxa here in the half. Rosero. De Buen. Kevin Rosero, edge of the 18. His service blocked away. Looking for one more chance at it. Poked away from the Colombian. And on the far side, Inter Miami is on it. Seconds away from the conclusion of the first half. Under pressure. Allen got that ball away. Now Weigand in tight space, does well, gives to Redondo, and that's it. Well, the accounting for the first half, a goal for each side, a Messi injury, a red card, a yellow for Suarez, a yellow for Calderon. It's 1-1.
And I tell you what, one of the things I would say as halftime.
Leagues Cup 2025 is finally here. Catch all the games right here on MLS Season Pass and scan the QR code on the screen or go to leaguescup.com/tickets to get in on the action.
I think the substitution makes sense. You know, you don't need two sit midfielders. Rodriguez will sit now. Rojas and Pallavicino, they'll get up now to support the front two.
Javier Mascherano addressing his team at halftime. Take a guess at what the message might have been.
With Mascherano, I think it's a difficult one because this team is built to go forward. But I think you have to be disciplined. I think he will have said to his experienced players, listen, read the game, understand the game, go forward when you can, but don't try and win. Don't be that desperate to win the game that you lose the game.
Free kick for Necaxa. Opening moments of the second half. Inter Miami opting not to utilize a sub at halftime. That means they have one window remaining, 3 potential subs at their disposal. Pallavicino. Jacob across. And now to the foot of Rodriguez. Here's Rosero. Pallavicino serves this to the top of the 18. Cambindo was there but cleaned up.
Yeah, I think when you talk about substitutions, and obviously speaking well in advance, but I wouldn't be surprised, you know, at some point to see Pico coming on, because I think the problem that you have at the moment if you're into Miami, there's very little pace, so you have to play out from the back or the ball's going to keep coming back at you, because Suarez doesn't want to keep dropping deeper and deeper and deeper. But you look at his position now, he's the highest player up the field and he's well in his own half. So at some point you need to have that sort of that little bit of the get up and go where you can say, right, okay, we're defending deep, but we can play the ball a little bit longer. But they're lacking pace in the team and on the pitch at the moment.
Suarez doesn't get subbed out often. The case here might be a situation where it could be warranted if that's the one-for-one switch, as it's played across Rodriguez. Back for Calderon. They seek out Cambindo. He got a foot to it. They play it across. Cambindo couldn't get to it a second time as it's scooped up by Rios Novo.
You can already see the role of Rojas. Certain times it looks like a 3-4-1-2. And Rojas in that 10 position just behind the front two.
One back. by Necaxa, now gathered this time. Busquets to play it ahead. Well done by DePaul, and now playing that ahead, Redondo, but nobody there.
And that's the lack of having that out ball. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult at the moment. And you can just see they're just trying to be as disciplined as possible and just hope they can potentially get that one opportunity.
This is Rosero. Showed you the score earlier. Orlando leading Atlas 2-1. Remember, Necaxa is playing MLS teams in this phase 1 of the competition, but they're competing in the table with fellow Mexican-based sides. That's why a night like Thursday, where so many MLS teams did well, was rewarding for a team like Necaxa, and conversely, Miami playing Liga MX sides, but competing in the table with the other MLS teams. Rodriguez across. Rojas, who's just come on, fires, big save made. Rocco Rios Novo to keep the game level. Ball stays in play. This is Rosero. Rosero works it across towards the far post. That's cleaned up by Busquets, and Miami will run this away with DePaul. He's tripped up.
And you see the positioning of Rojas. Busquets now, he's got to sit even deeper himself because to help the defense out, but that's leaving the space then for Rojas, who then finds himself in a great position on the edge of the box. Wonderful strike, but a really good strong left hand from Rios Novo because there was so much pace on that ball.
And this exclusive NetCam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rios Novo, a share of important moments for the 23-year-old keeper in the first 2 games of this Leagues Cup for Miami. Holding that up, Suarez, laid off by Segovia. Into Miami, wins a throw as Alba salutes the service. One more time, the last shot.
It's a good strike as well. Rojas, I think it's a very, very clever substitution, just to get him onto the pitch in that 10 position, because that's where the space is in between the midfield and the defense of Miami, because they're still pushing up at certain times to give support to Suarez.
Occasional starter, second time he's been subbed on in this Leagues Cup though. Johan Rojas has a goal in the Apertura already. That came in their win against Querétaro. Calderon. Off Segovia, does well to win the goal kick. Win probability. We saw that kickoff into Miami at 63%. Messi leaving, the sending off of Falcone. Those are the numbers at present.
Miami's still favorites. Wow. They obviously know something that we don't, Steve, because I think Necaxa favorites. Main man is off the pitch, Messi.
All in the 30s, by the way. Win, lose, and draw. Wasn't that much of a disparity, but there is a confidence here about Inter Miami from the computer, is there not? Let's watch Peña for Necaxa. Calderon to the far side. Pallavicino on the move here. Pallavicino, and now Sanchez. Big build up here by Necaxa. Now they go for goal, and a shot fired off the bar. Headed back softly to the foot of Rios Novo.
And it's that same man again, Rojas. In that position, nobody's going out to him. He's finding so much space. Just look how far he's able to go. And he just takes a strike, a wonderful strike again. That's twice now. Inter Miami might not get so lucky third time. They have to shut down the space, but you can see how deep Busquets is dropping. Nobody's going out to Rojas.
Miami plays it long. That ball is headed away. A reminder for our viewers tonight on TikTok from around the world. Player Spotlight Inter Miami FC is available throughout this match, getting you as close to the action as possible to some of the world's biggest stars. Messi has exited the match. Suarez just gave it a go from long range, but the TikTok camera on him. Alba, Busquets, DePaul, and others for the balance of the evening. Can Mascherano's team find a way here? Level at 1, 53rd minute of the game. Here's Jacob. Calderon to the far side. And Sanchez. Raul Sanchez, big role in the last win against Atlanta United. Had the strike to open the scoring, what was ultimately ruled an own goal on Atlanta keeper Brad Guzan that night to get it started. Here's Rosero. Rojas, who's been feeling it, gets it back. Cambindo to the top of the box. Rojas tries to work this ball out wide. Tumbling over the ball is Weigand, just gets rid of it. It's a foul against Necaxa here. Jorge Mas saw his reaction after the sending off of Maxi Falcone in the first half. An owner emotionally invested in this side, is he not? Here's Busquets. It's the Miami lineup at this present time. The two subs utilized in the first half. Segovia making a run. Pena will see that safely to the goalkeeper Unsain. Raul Sanchez. Spanish wingback, and we see the one change to the Necaxa lineup in this game to this point. Rojas centering as the second half sub. They go over the top. Cambindo waiting on this. Pallavicino played back. Badaloni. Rosero. Jacob. Now Pena. Booted long by the keeper Insain. Top of the 18. Allen to send that ball high. Challenged by Pallavicino. He commits the foul. Check that. That's Badaloni on the foul. Such an opportunity for Necaxa. Early stages of this managerial stint. Gago still gaining the trust of the players. What would be a huge win for them in their development on the road here in Miami tonight.
I think what's really surprised me is how quickly he's got the players on board to be comfortable playing different systems, playing in different positions. And like you quite rightly said, he's only just joined the club, but the players seem to be right on board.
Buy-in comes with results, doesn't it? Here's Rojas again. Rojas this time fakes the shot. Johan Rojas to work it out wide. Sanchez. Rojas able to send this ball in. That was chested down by Cambindo on the return pass. Inter Miami is on this. DePaul gave up possession.
It's very difficult for them to get out. There's not an out ball at the moment.
Now Pallavicino. Able to work it out wide. Raul Sanchez whips this ball in. Go ahead goal by Necaxa. The celebration is on. It's Cambindo for a 2-1 lead.
It was an interesting one. The assistant referee did not put his flag up initially, and it was the referee. It was the referee that gave the offside.
The on-field call is indeed offside to nullify the goal.
But it's an interesting one because it's a referee. The first thing you do when the ball goes into the back of the net, you're looking at the assistant referee. The assistant referee keeps his flag down, and it's the referee that gives the offside, and rightly so as well. First thing he does, and that's what you can see. in that situation, Cambindo, he's looking at the assistant referee and the flag's not gone up, and he's thinking to himself, why has it been disallowed? And fair play to the referee, he saw it.
By a healthy margin too, on the second look. This ball rolls out.
But that is the key for Necaxa. It was the key when it was 11 versus 11. It's even more so the key now when it's 11 versus 10 in their favor, to use those wide areas. What Inter Miami will do, they will clog up the middle, but they leave the wider areas free.
Here's Rosero. Gonna play that ball ahead for Cambindo, but broken up. Out for a Necaxa throw. A team that scored 5 goals in its opening 3 games in the league. And they added 3 more in the opener of this tournament. Looking for a second. The game tonight and their second win of this competition. Allen sends it high. Pallavicino. Good ball across. This is Rojas. Switch to the far side. Raul Sanchez. Rojas again. Thought about it. Continues on. Cambindo, top of the 18, taken away from him. In transition, here comes Rodrigo de Paul for Inter Miami.
It's so difficult, though. And like I say, that's why I'm looking at and thinking to myself, if you're going to make some substitutions, then Pico brings that pace, can stretch the game a little bit. And for me, it's a substitution that, when you're looking at how long's gone now, could be very near to him coming on the pitch.
There we see a potential triple substitution. Mascherano has 1 window left, so if he's using 5 subs, he'll use 3 in the window coming up. Yellow card is out of the pocket. And that's the second yellow for Calderon. He's done for the night, and now it's 10v10. And the worm turns again in the 60th minute.
We are seeing so much in this game, but this is brilliant from Suarez. We said earlier in the game how good he is at getting fouls, how good he is at getting his body in between the ball and the man. And Calderon, if you go back to the first half, what happened? It was those two in the 18-yard box. And Suarez, he doesn't even touch the ball. He just feels Calderon, and he turns away. And he knows that if he turns away, he's going to get in on the ball, and Calderon brings him down. But like I say, you go back to the first half, it was both of those players that were given the yellow card at the same time for going toe-to-toe.
So the playing field is level with a third of the match to go. Christian Calderon sent off. He'll be unavailable for the last group stage match Wednesday against Orlando City. And now, Rodrigo de Paul on the free kick, goes to the far post, punched away. That was the choice by the goalkeeper, Saeed. So the sending off by Calderon has led Mascherano to pull all 3 of those potential substitutions back.
And you go back to the first half. One thing that Suarez can do, and I know from playing against him firsthand, he's an incredible player, but he can wind opposition up. And he did it in the first half. He took a yellow card at the time, him and Calderon, and he was probably thinking to himself, okay, I've got a yellow card, but you know what? I think I can get inside Calderon's head. We go, what, just over 60 minutes now to the second half, and job done from his side of things. A really good turn. Got the better of Calderon, who only had one decision in his own mind, which was to bring him down.
Rosero defended well by Allen and booted away. Rios Novo sending off for each side. It was a direct red for Falcone and a pair of yellows for Calderon. Free kick is awarded here for Necaxa. Rodriguez directing traffic, able to work it across, brought down by Sanchez. Pallavicino.
They're still given a lot of time and space. That's Pallavicino. We know the quality he's got. You've had Rojas just finding themselves in dangerous areas at times, 20, 25 yards outside the box. Somebody has to close them down for Inter Miami.
Reason for each of these teams to go for it. Good maneuver by DePaul. Rodrigo DePaul cuts centrally. Wanted Segovia, not enough on the pass, taken by Miami. This is Redondo. Alba to the foot of Segovia. Busquets. DePaul tried the return for Sergio Busquets as that ball is deflected out. It's a throw-in for Necaxa. Substitution coming from the Necaxa side in just a moment. Rosano getting ready to come into the match. Again, Mascherano playing the chess game. He has only one more window. And they're getting busy again on the Inter Miami sideline. In a 1-1 game, 10v10. Ivan Rodriguez. Peña cross. Cataloni making a run. Policed well by Noah Allen as it's sent out. Substitutions are coming for each side. It appears there's been a tweak to what Mascherano was going to originally do. He has Tomas Aviles now up with this group. Kramoski and Yannick Bright are the other players standing by.
Just wonder potentially, does he go to a back three? Get that extra man midfield for themselves.
So there's Rosano, the player on loan from Club America, the 19-year-old. Substitutions now. Busquets is done in the 65th minute. Yannick Bright comes in. Aviles for Noah Allen is the switch as well. And the third substitution, Benjamin Kramoski, comes into the game. Segovia, the man with the goal, checks out here for Inter Miami. So all 5 subs utilized by Mascherano, with the game still having 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Telesco Segovia gave us this tonight.
Yeah, he got it all started. Really good play from DePaul. Lovely run from Allende. Opens up the space, and a great finish as well from Segovia. So clinical when he gets in those positions.
Kramoski subbed on for a second straight Leagues Cup appearance. Free kick Necaxa. Referee will put this, have Necaxa put it in the proper spot. A lot at stake here. One defeat in this Leagues Cup can ruin the chances of a quarterfinal appearance. Neither team can be mathematically eliminated here tonight, but a regulation loss in particular would harm the loser. Unsain just got that ball past the outstretched foot of Luis Suarez. Cambindo to play this back. Intercept by Jordi Alba. Plays it ahead. Suarez shrugs off Jacob and continues on. Luis Suarez drops it back. Redondo. And now Alba. Jordi Alba going long. Too far for an on-rushing Suarez again. Rodriguez. Taken away by Miami and Kramoski. There's Yannick Bright continuing the fight. Good to see him healthy again and contributing for Inter Miami. Well, if you want to have yours say, scan the QR code, submit your vote for today's Man of the Match, brought to you by Geico. That's yet to be determined here with some time to go.
Potentially still a hero out there on the pitch.
Watch Jacko. Brought down near side. Pallavicino. Ball deflected off the arm. That'll stop play.
I think as the game's going on, the need for the win, I think, is more important for Inter Miami with the way that things are going with MLS teams. You know, Orlando obviously getting the win as well. Whereas from Necaxa's side of things,
Cremaschi to get on this. Benjamin Cremaschi, curling shot, didn't miss by much. For the second half lead, Cremaschi off the bench.
it's a lovely run from Cremaschi. You just see he makes that run from left to right and he's found by DePaul. Opens up nicely for him. Suarez not happy, Weigand not happy. They believe that they were in better positions. He just falls nicely out of his feet. Just trying to get that curl into the top corner, but just gets too much on it, too much height as well.
Here comes Necaxa in transition. Taken away. Alba. Suarez, the man up high. Taken off his foot, but Bright helps win it back. This is Luis Suarez. Has reinforcements coming to his right and his left. Suarez continues on, taken off his foot. Referee lets the contact go, but now calling for the athletic training staff.
Now, he's not happy. I think it's Jacob. He's saying he's getting up. He's saying he's in a lot of pain, but he's saying that he was elbowed by Suarez on the way through as he makes the challenge. The referee stops the game straight away because obviously it's a head injury. But that's the first thing Jacob does. He isn't happy. He believes that he was elbowed by Suarez. So going through. It's an interesting one. Because always look, does Suarez's arm need to go down there? I don't know. I think you have to be so careful because there's an argument to say it's not a natural movement, and he puts his elbow towards Jacob.
He's on a yellow, Danny.
Yeah, I know. You have to be very, very careful in these situations. Now, the yellow card thing, VAR will only get involved if it's deemed a red card situation. If the referee sees it, then it's obviously different. You just watch the right arm of Suarez here. I don't think there's any need for him to put his arm down right now. I think he gets away with this one. I think he can consider himself fortunate.
Jacob slowly off. They'll take a look at their 21-year-old defender, and the referee will drop it here. In the second half, match day 2 for each of these sides. And we're looking at it for a potential red, and that check, we are told, is complete. Unsain to boot it away. Cambindo to the foot of Rojas. Johan Rojas, lively since coming on. Pallavicino out wide. Rossano, who's come into the match. Service across. Cleaned up by Miami for a throw. It's a Necaxa side that in 2023 never advanced out of a 3-team group in the old format. 2024 round of 32. They lost to San Jose by 5 to exit the tournament. Looking to make it to a quarterfinal in this League's Cup for the first time. Here they are on the ball again. Dispossessed, DePaul to get Miami going the other way. Now Cremaschi checks traffic over the shoulder. DePaul to the foot of Jordi Alba. Yannick Bright. Alba for DePaul. Rodrigo DePaul wants Suarez. Ball eventually finds him. Trickles to the goalkeeper, Unsain. To the ground again, Luis Suarez. And back the other way, Necaxa in transition. Rosero. Rojas. Kevin Rosero cross blocked away by Alba and out for a Necaxa throw. Substitution coming now for Necaxa. Cambindo's night is done. Ricardo Monreal, the 24-year-old striker, subbed on for a second straight Leagues Cup game, will look to be the hero.
Also plays as well, Monreal. Comfortable drifting over to that left-hand side as well. Potentially look for space there and then to drive in.
Subbed on in mid-second half the last time around. Here comes our second cooling break of the night. I mentioned Los Rayos, which salutes its past ownership of the club. Nicknamed Los Rayos the Lightning. Used to be owned by the Union of Electricians many years ago. Now, they won their last league title in Mexico's top flight in 1998, and a year later they triumphed in CONCACAF Champions Cup, and that was a victory that was a prelude to one of their more famous wins shortly after that.
Yeah, and I remember it very well. In 2000, in the Club World Cup, I was traveling with Manchester United. I think I was only 20 years of age at the time, and we played against South Melbourne, we played against Vasco da Gama, and played against Necaxa as well. And in the Necaxa game, and ended up David Beckham, obviously a huge figure now at Inter Miami. He got sent off in that game, and if I remember correctly, Necaxa won on penalties, and then they had one of the greatest results in their history. They finished third in the tournament. They beat Real Madrid on penalties.
I'm glad you told that story. The sending off keeps with the theme of the evening that we've had here in South Florida.
It most certainly does.
As it's 10v10 in this 75th minute. The best assist of the match is presented by Lowe's. Our members score more.
Yeah, and it's a lovely ball across just from Sanchez. First time ball. And then the player, who's in really, really hot form at the moment, Badaloni, just gets a step on Allen. He makes no mistake. And that was to get Necaxa level. And it's fascinating. These last 15 or so minutes, the onus is on Inter Miami. Inter Miami, in my mind, need the win far greater than Necaxa do, because we've seen MLS teams and the way they're going about things. And as things stand at the moment, with Orlando winning, I think Miami probably go down to 8th. Whereas I think with Necaxa, they could look at it and go, yes, they want the 3 points, but they don't want to throw any points away as in terms of losing the game. So they may think to themselves, okay, 1 point or 2 points if we can win on penalties is probably going to be more satisfying for Necaxa than it is for Inter Miami.
I can tell you that Orlando City did finish off their game against Atlas with a 3-1 victory, so they lost in a shootout in their first match. They're on 4 points now and still hoping 7 is enough to get them in as they go into that final match day. Alba. Flag is up. Rosero challenged on the near side. Yannick Bright. Rosero again. Look at the work by Bright. Saw so much of that last year, his rookie season. Out of the University of New Hampshire. Here comes DePaul and into Miami. Back the other way. Rodrigo DePaul out wide. Redondo is there. Redondo trying to play that through for Suarez. Taken away. Ball will roll out, and it's a throw-in. Necaxa will have it.
He's such a good player, Yannick Bright. Remember the first time I saw him was in the 4-0 loss to Red Bulls, I think it was last season. He came on as a substitute, and all of a sudden, I was like, oh, okay, he looks a player. His positioning, his ability to cover ground, his ability to understand where the danger is huge.
He's 23 years of age. It's Yannick Bright. Here, deadlocked in a 1-1 game. Tension mounts here. Each side playing with 10. This is Rosero. Works on Kramaski. Push in midfield by Rodriguez.
Just don't understand that from Rodriguez there, Steve. He's got DePaul going back towards his own goal. He's done the hard work, and then he just makes it easy for DePaul just to go down there by just giving him a push in the back.
17th foul of the match for Necaxa in this game. Back to Rios Novo. Gonzalo Lujan. Now Kremaski. Taken away by Necaxa. Pallavicino won it. Rodriguez again. To shake loose of Kremaski. They work this across. Here's Rojas. Taken away.
Brilliant from Bright again.
Back the other way. DePaul gets the engine going. Rodrigo DePaul looks left, looks right, gives it a go himself, fires wide.
It opened up for him. DePaul, he seems, okay, he's kneeling down now, but he just seems to run on batteries. For a player that hasn't played for a considerable amount of time to play the full game midweek against Atlas, just watch this break. And everything just opens up. He's really clever from Suarez. He just opens up things by drifting out wide. And the ball just thinks to himself, get myself in a good position, but just got that wrong. Alba wanted it, not happy.
We're seeing a player that's come here really on the heels of one of his best seasons for Atletico Madrid. He was excellent in 24-25 for the Spanish side. On the far side, Franco Rosano to work this across. Lujan stayed with his man Monreal. Now Weigand under pressure, thrown to the ground. It's a foul against Necaxa. Does a hero emerge late? Gago said their victory Wednesday more impressive when you consider that their flight to Atlanta was delayed Tuesday, didn't land until 6 p.m. That means they canceled training on match day -1, still came through with flying colors here. Up a man for a good portion of the first half. Now 10v10, level at 1 against the Supporters Shield winners from last season. Battle for the loose ball. Referee lets all the contact go. Redondo wins it. This is Suarez to work it across. Save made, Unsain. Flag is up.
You can see how much Inter Miami want this win. That's a left back Alba going into the centre forward position. They understand the urgency.
Rojas with a ball that deflects back now. Ivan Rodriguez. Here comes Necaxa again. They'll play it to Rosero. Monreal, who checked in minutes ago, squares that well. Here's Monreal, has a chance. His shot goes in. Ricardo Monreal with the big moment in the 81st minute. And Necaxa can see a pathway to a 2-0 start in Leagues Cup. This crowd is stunned at Chase Stadium. He got his debut for El Tri last year in a friendly on U.S. soil versus Bolivia. What a big moment here. There's a check. That check is complete. This is a 2-1 game.
Well, and to rub it in as well. At the end we'll see, but just watch his celebration. Belongs to a certain Ronaldo. But it's brilliant play. They've been patient, they've taken their time, and they've just waited for the opportunity to come. We said about Monreal, who likes to drift wide, and he just keeps his width here. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and it's a wonderful 1-2. He plays the ball initially there, and then just watch the run that he goes on now. When he gets the ball, plays it in, but then he's not happy. He sees that there's a space between the left back and the left-sided centre-back and Luan, and he takes full advantage. Luan just gets caught out because he goes to the player that's playing the ball. That leaves the space then for Monreal to get into. Does it to perfection, and it's a lovely finish as well.
Now, does Miami have what it takes for late magic for the second time in a span of 4 nights? Ricardo Monreal, go-ahead goal. And Necaxa making noise in this Leagues Cup 2025. Weigand thrown to the ground. Referee blows his whistle. It's a free kick.
Just see once again, it's just Luan, he just takes that step forward. I think it's actually, have a look, Pallavicino that he goes out to, and there you go. Ronaldo celebration at Inter Miami Stadium, and Messi's home.
Now DePaul over the set piece, the all-important set piece for Inter Miami. Rodrigo DePaul punched away. Unsain recycled. Weigand. Kremoski back for DePaul. Taken away by Necaxa. They have 4 into the attack in transition. Racing ahead. Rosero to play it across. Pass broken up. Needed to do better with that. Taken away by Rosero. A second time though. They work this ahead. Rojas plays it across. Pallavicino with time to keep this in play. Into the 18. Badaloni. Pallavicino. Pallavicino again. At the edge of the 18. Looks at his options, plays to the top of the box. Rojas looking for a lane, taken off his foot by Bright. Now Suarez lays this off. Kremoski for Inter Miami. Progress halted at midfield momentarily. He continues on. Players come together. Unsain to play it ahead. 5.5 minutes plus stoppage time for Inter Miami to look to turn the tide a second time. Franco Rosano. Nurse back here for Aviles. And now Redondo. Paul will go the distance once again. No more substitutions at Mascherano's disposal. They work this ahead. Suarez to run on this. Luis Suarez settles, just lost his footing and gave it up. Oh my. Back the other way. Out for a Necaxa throw.
It's a tired looking run from Suarez. He's given everything that he's got so far in this game. Mascherano, he'll be hoping for one more bit of magic from him.
Jacob to play this back. Unsain out to the middle of the park. Lujan to the foot of Bright. Yannick Bright, something of a blind pass taken away. Pallavicino, one back by Miami. Jordi Alba. He's fouled, and a free kick for the Herons here.
I think we've seen a different Pallavicino in this second half, and I think he's been freed up by the introduction of Rojas. He's sort of playing as a number 10 with him, just enabled him just to find a little bit more space. And started to really instigate things for Necaxa going forward.
In that first wave of games, you pointed this out. You saw an element of tiring by a lot of the Mexican teams that simply aren't in proper form just yet so early in their apertura. And here is Necaxa getting better as the game has gone along.
They are, without question. I think obviously you look at some of the players that didn't play in the first game, and because they're usually a possession dominant team.
Kremoski plays this ball, then took a double deflection dangerously. Unsain will gather here.
Risky, very risky one from Jacob. You see he's trying to head the ball back to Unsain. Well, Suarez gambled. He knew what was going on. Just here, just makes that run. He's just looking to get a head on it himself, but still goes into Unsain's arms.
Well, the stakes are high now as we watch Pallavicino. Should Miami lose by this scoreline or any loss in regulation, they'd max out at 6 points, and frankly that might not be enough, likely would not be enough to reach the quarterfinals.
I don't think it will be enough. We saw what happened in the first set of games as in terms of the MLS teams being dominant, and you look at Necaxa, they would go up to 6 points and they'd go joint top, only off top spot at the moment as things stand on goal difference.
Pallavicino tucking the shirt from behind. Brightsman all over the field. That time commits the tactical foul and a free kick. Necaxa.
He's been outstanding this second half, Pallavicino. He's been everywhere, and I think he's been freed up. I think the substitutions from Fernando Gargo have been exactly what was needed at the right time as well. And obviously Mascherano, the sending off, the injury to Messi, just changes the game completely.
Player with pedigree, more than 100 appearances at River Plate in his career in Argentina. On the ball again, able to work this ball in. Loose at the top of the 18. Badaloni, who has 3 goals in this Leagues Cup so far. Taken back by Miami. Switch to the left, and that's where DePaul operates. Rodrigo DePaul plays ahead. Redondo. Pushed a second time. There's some disbelief by some of the Miami players, Suarez in particular, that no foul was called in that sequence. Substitution for Necaxa. As we watch Alejandro Andrade, the 23-year-old defensive midfielder, to come into this match. Will it be employed now? Referee is going to hold up the substitution. We believe it's Badaloni who's coming out of the match as Rosero plays this back. We're in the 90th minute. Jordi Alba, Redondo. The return for Federico Redondo. Closed down by a couple of white kits. One back by Necaxa. Rosero to Monreal, and here they come on the break the other way. Rojas gets the engine going. Johan Rojas for Necaxa. They're looking to put this away. Gives here to Rosero. His shot saved. Rocco Rios Novo keeps Miami in the game. And back the other way they come. 6 minutes of stoppage time in the second half as it's played ahead by DePaul. Now Kramaski the other way. Fans get loud at Fort Lauderdale. Suarez says he was fouled.
Just see really good break from Necaxa. The substitutes who had an influence. It was Rojas that played the ball to Rosaro. And then he wants the ball back. Rosaro, he's taking his chances though. Rios Novo stood up. It's a wonderful save. And now into Miami, they find themselves with a free kick. Once again, Suarez fouled.
He wanted the yellow card in addition to that. So, in second half stoppage time, the magic moment 3 nights ago came 98 minutes into the match from Weigand. This time into Miami, just looking to level on its home ground. And on the set piece, this ball whipped in, tie game! How about that? Jordi Alba and into Miami. Back in business, we're level at 2. Minus Messi, never say die.
What a ball in, but what a header from Alba, one of the smallest players on the pitch. Unbelievable for him to get himself in that position, but to also get up in the way that he did and get the ball over Unsain, who sort of gets caught out. He doesn't know whether to come for the ball, doesn't know whether to stay in his line, he does neither. And Alba, he's the thankful person that puts the ball into the back of the net. And what an important goal that could be for Inter Miami.
Think of all the big games he's played in. Won the Euros in 2012 with Spain 3 times. a veteran of the World Cup, and the man who stands 5 feet 7 inches tall with the big moment late. Will there be more before penalties? Once again, in Leagues Cup, no extra time. We go straight to penalties to decide it if we're level. Alba ahead. Here's DePaul.
Just see the urgency for Miami now. They believe that they can win it. And committing men forward, they know how important 3 points would be. It's DePaul everywhere.
Said played out. A reminder, Andrade was the sub trying to check into the game. That's when Necaxa was looking to protect the lead. Now we're level, and Gago has pulled him back. This might be the group that finishes it. Jordi Alba. Suarez. Luis Suarez beats one man, continues on. Suarez turned around in the 18. Appeal for a foul. We continue on. Pallavicino with a terrific ball ahead. Bartoloni can't get on it. Taken here. Necaxa. Monreal. He's the man with the goal earlier. Monreal, this time the shot blocked away. Second chance cleaned up by Inter Miami. Necaxa stays with it. Settled here by Rios Nova.
Don't want this game to end. Both teams just going for it. Both teams believe that they can get the points.
Pulsating at Chase Stadium. Miami goes long. Kremaski to run onto this. Benjamin Kremaski. Suarez again. Luis Suarez wins the corner late. And is there one more magic moment?
With football, you are very rarely surprised. And Inter Miami, looking like they might be getting 0 points. Looking to try and get themselves the full 3 points. And would you go against it with the players that they have on the pitch, with the opportunities that they're now creating, with the man that stood over the ball at the corner as well? You wouldn't.
Rodrigo de Paul on the in-swinger. Alba will get onto this. He shoots, fires, and shut the ball wide. What a strike by Alba. Out for a corner.
Yeah, it looks as though the goalkeeper got a touch on it as well on the way through. But Alba, his unfavoured right foot, he took the strike. And Unsain is taking no chances.
Likely less than a minute to go in regulation. Somewhere Messi is watching. DePaul plays this ball in. This time Necaxa will get on it. They'll run it away. Rojas off to the races. Plays a good ball ahead. Waiting on this. Broken up. There's Pallavicino. A wonderful tackle made by guess who? Yannick Bright back to his feet. Cello Weigand as well. And that's all. Inter Miami and Necaxa will have match day 2 settled by penalty shootout. And the goalkeepers in the line of fire. Two-two in a thriller, a game that's had everything. 4 goals in total. 2 players sent off. A comeback late by Inter Miami in second half stoppage time to level. Rafa Rios Novo has not faced a penalty in MLS this year. He was the hero in a penalty shootout for the USL Championships Phoenix Rising with 2 saves in a final versus the Charleston Battery. DePaul almost certainly to be one of Miami's 5. There's Unsain. In Recopa Sudamerican, he was playing for a side called Defensa. And all he did in that match against Palmeiras was stop a penalty in extra time and then 2 more in the shootout. He has faced 5 Liga MX penalties in the past year, and he was scored on 5 times.
I think the interesting thing is here, when you're looking at Inter Miami and you're thinking, right, okay, who are the penalty takers? I think when you looked at it before the game, you would probably say Messi, without question. I think Busquets, and I think Allende. None of those 3 players are on the pitch now, so there'll be a player or 2 or 3 that's probably going to step up that wouldn't ordinarily been taking a penalty.
How did we get here? In a 2-2 game to be decided by penalties. Here are the goals.
Yeah, well, it's been a brilliant game, and this was just after Messi had to go off injured. Lovely play from De Paul, who then plays the ball to Segovia. Lovely run from Allende, just opens up for Segovia, and it's a wonderful finish. You see exactly what he's trying to do. He's just trying to get that yard, and his teammate Allende gives him that, and he just curls it right into the corner. A wonderful finish just to get Miami going. And then you've got to say Necaxa, they started to use the width really well, and this is a wonderful ball into the box from Sanchez, and a great finish as well from Bandoloni. He's in the right place just to get a step on Allen, puts the ball into the back of the net, and then Necaxa, they started asking all the questions. Substitutes started getting involved. It's Monreal, he plays the 1-2. Luan gets dragged out, and it's a lovely finish into the corner. And Necaxa, they're looking at things, and they're thinking they've done enough now to get the 3 points. Substitutes getting involved and giving them the lead. But Inter Miami, as Inter Miami always do, we just see the Ronaldo celebration, never give up. And it's more often than not one of the star players, one of the players that's been there and done that refuses to give up. And it's Alba on this occasion. Unsain just gets caught between a rock and a hard place, doesn't stay on the line and doesn't come too far out. And now the goalkeepers, both of them, Rios Novo and Unsain, they have the opportunity to be the heroes.
Take me inside the huddle in a moment like this. Who talks? What's communicated?
I think first of all the coach will ask the players, because I think there's a number of players that are in this penalty shootout for Inter Miami that wouldn't have been expecting to take a penalty because of the players that are missing, from Busquets, from Allende, from Messi. 3 players that you could probably guarantee that would be taking penalties. Then from a coach's side of things, he'll ask the players who wants to take one. Some players will step up. I've been in and around penalty shootouts where players you think are going to step up don't step up at that time because the nerves just get the better of them.
The winner of the shootout is awarded 2 points for the penalty shootout win. The loser will walk away with 1 point. That means that the winner of tonight's game would max out in phase 1 with an 8-point total. The loser would max out at a 7-point total, assuming you win your final game in this phase 1. This is important stuff.
It's very important, and I may be proved wrong, but I think Miami need to win this penalty shootout. Simple as that, because I think the way that MLS teams have done, I think Necaxa, they've got their point already, and that potentially could be enough to give them cause for optimism going into the last game. So it'll be interesting.
And there are the keepers. Rios Novo, Los Angeles born of Argentine descent. Unsain, the Argentine keeper, former youth player at Newell's Old Boys with Necaxa since the summer of 2023. We're going to do this at the goal to your right, for those of you watching here on MLS Season Pass. Necaxa will shoot first. And their best set piece taker, Pallavicino, will get us started. Agustin Pallavicino, the 28-year-old Argentine. Rios Novo looking for the big finish now for Inter Miami. Here we go. The shootout begins. Round 1. Pallavicino makes it look easy, and a good start for Necaxa.
He just tried to play the mind games, Rios Novo. He gave him that side. Pallavicino just said, okay, well, if you're going to give me that side, that's where I'm going, and he made no mistake. Good penalty. You just see Rios Novo just showing him that side, but then he's not able to get anywhere near it.
Well, each of these teams, you could say, using the player in the first attempt who strikes the best ball. Here comes DePaul. Messi, of course, exited early in the match. Rodrigo DePaul in his second appearance in an Inter Miami kit. Looking to level. DePaul. Keeper guessed the wrong way. It's 1-1.
Those first penalties, so important. Lovely penalty as well from DePaul, putting it into the corner. And as you quite rightly said, Unsain goes the wrong way. You can look at it as from the Necaxa side of things. They will, to a certain extent, think they've got the advantage. They're the ones that are always taking the first penalty. And it's into Miami that will do the chasing.
Johan Rojas is up next for Necaxa. As we begin round two, the Colombian strikes, goes high. Successful penalty.
It's a great penalty as well. He gets the height on it and gets it right into the corner as well. Even though Rios Novo goes the right way, wonderful penalty.
Off the roof of the net, Benjamin Kramaski came on in a second half sub role for this Inter Miami side. He's up next.
This is where the younger players, really a test of nerves, not just when they're stepping up to take that penalty, but that long walk as well from the halfway line. So many thoughts can go through your head, changing the mind which way you're going to go, and that can become a difficulty in itself.
Miami's 20-year-old homegrown in the big moment here in round two. Benjamin Kramaski levels the shootout. Nerves of steel from the man from Key Biscayne, Florida.
Yeah. Well, from Kramaski's side of things, he's probably looked at it and think most times goalkeepers dive, and when they do dive, that space is there straight down the middle.
Here's Badaloni. Wonderful. In the first two games of this League's Cup, he's scored 3 in regulation time. Now his chance in the shootout. Badaloni, left foot strike, save made! Rocco Rios Novo is the first keeper to deny.
Didn't like the run-up, did not like the run-up. He goes backwards near enough in a straight line, and he doesn't give himself a good enough angle to get the ball right into the corner. And most of the time when penalties are missed or penalties are saved, it's a lot of the time the backward run from the player doesn't give himself a good enough angle. But take nothing away from Rios Novo, really good save.
And now the hero in second half stoppage time, Jordi Alba, looks to give Inter Miami the edge in round 3. Alba. Inter Miami with a 3-2 lead in the shootout. And he's gotten the best of Unsain on 2 occasions here.
He has, and I think there's, without question, Unsain started the mind games and Alba finished them. But it's a lovely penalty, right in the corner, right off the post as well, to perfection. And then he's just telling the goalkeeper, don't you play mind games with me.
Here's the man who briefly gave Necaxa the lead in this second half, Ricardo Monreal, with his first goal of this League's Cup. And if Rios Novo has another stop in him, it puts Inter Miami in the driver's seat. Ricardo Monreal to begin round 4.
There's a bit of commotion on the sidelines. Former Barcelona, former Real Madrid.
Well, someone wanted someone to stop and think about all of this.
Well, very rarely do you see Busquets getting frustrated, that is for sure. It just shows what it means to the players. This competition, they want to go through. It's bragging rights. Simple as that.
Well, order is restored from many yards away. Back to the order of business. Here's Monreal for Necaxa. Monreal buries it. Impressive penalty. They've made 3 of their first 4. Let's see who steps up for Inter Miami now. Federico Redondo.
When you see this walk from the halfway line, the amount of times that the player will have a look at the goalkeeper, think what the goalkeeper's going to do, change his mind once, change his mind twice. You have to be so set and think to yourself, right, you've got the ball in your hand, and just get everything else out of your mind. Whichever way you're going to go, you're going to go. And that's a lot of the times where players made that mistake. They just get caught and become indecisive, and that can't afford to happen, especially when they have that long walk.
Gago knows he's watching the son of an ex-Madrid player, Fernando Redondo. This is Federico, the Madrid-Spain man, looking to keep Miami perfect down the middle. Inter Miami is 4 for 4 in this shootout, and if Rios Novo makes a stop here, it's all over.
Once again, we've seen it a few times now, players going down the middle, knowing that the goalkeepers are going to gamble.
And look at this choice in round 5. It's the goalkeeper, Ezequiel Unsain, who's going to make the attempt in the 5th round of this shootout. This is a surprise. Unsain has shot and he buries it. The keeper stepping up in the big spot to keep his team alive.
He didn't take a penalty like he was a goalkeeper. Rios Novo, another part of the goalkeepers union, but he wasn't letting that one in. He just didn't move. Wonderful penalty.
And look who they've saved for last. Luis Suarez, age 38. Well over 500 goals in his career for club and country. He's had chances in these last 2 games. He hasn't scored since June 23rd in the Club World Cup against Palmeiras. This attempt in the shootout to get Miami 2 points on the night. This is Suarez! Off the post and in, it's over! El Pistonero fires into Miami to a 2-point night. When it looked as if all hope was lost, trailing 2-1 late, they roar back and still very much alive in this Leagues Cup.
They never give up. They always look to get themselves back in. And if you want to see leadership, from a player on the pitch, watch this penalty from Suarez. The power, the placement, no nerves. He's played in some of the biggest games you could ever imagine in world football. And he knew when he put that ball down that he was going to get Miami that extra point.